markers are coming around, and your job is to silently think about a story we read not a long time ago, but a week and a half ago. And just to give a refresher, let's take our deep breaths first. Checking in on our memory of the summarizing skills. So we put this in a framework. Some of you were here, some of you were not here, so we'll go over it together. Eyes are just locked in on me. Whenever we have a story, like a fictional story, we have a main character, a goal, a problem, a solution, and a resolution. So in our thinking, we're thinking of Kui, the story of the trickster guinea pig in the Andes Mountains. And you're thinking, who, like somebody wanted, but so then. So on your whiteboards, and if you don't have a whiteboard, I'll come over for you. You are going to, with a partner, write a somebody wanted, but so then summary of lemon roast chicken. Go. Let's. Nice, right? I wanted. Alright, so who's our character? Alright, we wanted what? Yeah, why did you trick it? Okay, so wanted to stop the wolf from trying to kill him. That's probably a good idea. Wanted Tio and Antonio to stop and eat it. Wanted to stop the. Is he a fox or a wolf? Fox? I think it's a fox. From eating him. Oh, I like that.
Well, maybe.
Right.
Of course he did.
I think 1 more minute to wrap up those thoughts.
I don't know. I don't know what to do.
Okay, we wanted to stop the fox from eating him, but the fox kept chasing him in a way, right? He found him in the field. Well, first so is probably we tricked the fox to take his place. Then, at the very end, did they ever see each other? Left him alone, so then the fox left him alone. I like it. All right, wrap up your thinking in 10, 9, 4, 2,
7. Wow, you're so good at counting.
Awesome job coming back quickly and quietly. Show me your whiteboards. I want to see what you guys said. Even if you're not totally done, I just want to see what you said.
Louis wanted food,
I want to
but
see.
he was a guinea pig, so then he got food.
See on your whiteboards what we said. I got it. Interesting. Alright, you can put your whiteboards down. I saw a lot of you said the main character was Cooey. Now, I also heard interesting conversations though, that some characters, like this could have been used for Tio Antonio, because Tio Antonio wanted to eat Cooey. He was a part of the story, and he had a problem. He got tied to a tree and was stuck with the farmer and made fun of. But in this case, our keyword was main character. So Cooey was our main character who wanted to escape Tio Antonio, but Tio Antonio kept chasing him, so he tied him to a tree, and then they spent their lives kind of apart from each other. Zara?
Well, I did too, because I feel like Tio Antonio did actually, like, it would be summarized. So I didn't really want to that Buffalo, but he got caught, so I'm going to drink the wolf and my bread. And then I did Tio Antonio wanted to do it, but he tricked him, so he didn't know it was.
Oh, so it really could work both ways. And this is a great brain exercise to get us ready for what our objectives are today. So today, we've already looked at the crow, but we are looking to identify the what of this story?
The theme! Can we all read some words?
So we're identifying the theme of our story. And just as a quick recap, that theme of Love and Roast Chicken was brains over. I heard Jake say it. Let's try it together. Brains over brawn. Brawn is that strength piece.
But does it have both? Does it have brawn?
Okay. If you can hear my voice, put your finger to your lips. So we're looking for the theme of this news story we're going to read today, and we're going to compare and contrast some similarities and differences about the stories, but also some similarities and differences about their character, both on the inside and on the outside. So in small groups today, because we have 4 adults, which is, well, 4 adults, we're going to have some options of how you're going to read this story. So your options could be 1, you can read together. This is called shared reading. So if you're looking at the book, the teacher's reading, but you're reading along, then that's together. In your groups, you could also just decide, hey, I want to read this alone, and then afterwards we can work through some of this Venn diagram together. Or in your little small groups, you could just read with your partner. And again, you could whisper read with each other, or you can just side-by-side read and talk about this together. So in your small groups, you guys can decide what you want to do there. You're looking for the theme of the story and similarities and differences. If your group finishes before other people, we'll take about 15 minutes on this. If your group finishes, maybe come up with a different ending. How could the story have been different? What could have been something else that would have made this character different? Yeah. So let's see, for groups, I'm going to have the moose group is going to come with me. The marmots are going to go with Miss Scott. The lynx are going to go with Miss Owen. And then, let's see, the pikas are going to go with Miss Malia. When you guys are going this way, when you're putting your things away, you're going to put away the whiteboards in this bottom bin right here. And then adults, we're going to make sure that all of our group has a green textbook and then a blue piece of paper. So there's blue papers up here or on the small fact table. Lexi?
You said for B, I'm going to read the story. Everyone reads at their own pace. Oh, I thought you were supposed to say place. And I'm like, you said pace isn't like a big.
Oh, like a location versus a pace. So yeah, you can read on your own and then start working on this, then come together as a group. I want to take care of all your learning needs. Jake? That can be, if we're totally done, you can do that. All right, you are going to go get the blue paper and a green textbook. If you have a whiteboard, please erase it and put it in this bottom bin over here. Go. Okay, we got situated. Nice work. So we are going to be looking at the story Mouse Deer. Chloe has. We're going to be looking at the story Mouse Deer, but before we look into it, there are a lot of homophones. So real quick, do you know, looking at this page in your textbook, what a homophone could be? So just look at it for a second. Are you looking at this for a second?
Like idiots.
Well, look at it and see if you can describe it.
Oh, I know what homophones are. It's the same. It's spelled the same, but it has different meanings. Well, actually, no. No, it's not. No, it's spelled differently.
So there's something the same. There's something the same. We know that.
No.
And Jaden, what are we thinking?
It's spelled differently, but it actually sounds exactly the same.
Okay. Could spelled different.
Cause, yeah, it's just right.
Or spelled differently sounds the same. What part of our word could tell us that it sounds the same? Like homophone? Chloe? What do you think has to do with sound?
Phone.
Right? You talk on the phone. So our phone could mean the sound. Come on.
I know what it is.
Do you have an example?
Well, so if I wanted to write tail, like the book tail, and then the tail of a peacock.
Ooh, using your text. I like it. So then the tail.
But they don't mean the same thing. Well, they kind of do. They count as the same thing, but spelled differently.
So same
or it could be
word.
like a dog tail
Yeah.
or a cat tail, or like
Dog
a fairy
tail.
tale.
Oh, a fairy tale. So looking here, we're gonna have a couple of different words that are gonna sound like a word we know, and then based off of the story, we're gonna have to tell. Yeah, am I reading a fairy tale, or like a fairy tale, as in like a story, or am I looking for a Tinkerbell's tale? Which, to me, she's a fairy, and I'm just if I'm looking for a fairy tale, that doesn't make any sense in my brain, right? Like that doesn't sound like a word that I would relate to. So we're gonna see a couple of homophones in our story. I'm gonna read along. I'm gonna read out loud. You guys are gonna read along with your finger, and so that we can practice reading more fluently. So Chloe and Jaden, you guys are sharing.
I have a book.
Oh, perfect. Mouse Deer and Farmer, a trickster tale from Southeast Asia. Adapted from a story told by Aaron Shepard. Illustrations by Melo So. Mouse Deer loved to eat the fruits, roots, and shoots of the forest, but he loved vegetables in the farmer's garden even more. One day, he stepped into the garden and sniffed a juicy cucumber. Snap! Mouse Deer's leg was caught in a snare. When he saw Farmer coming, Mouse Deer lay down and made his body stiff. "Look what I caught," said Farmer. "But this Mouse Deer looks dead. Maybe he's been dead a long time. I guess we can't eat him." Farmer freed Mouse Deer from the snare and tossed him back into the forest. Mouse Deer landed with a soft plop, then jumped up and ran away. "Hey, you tricked me," Farmer yelled. But Mouse Deer just laughed. Is that sounding familiar so far? Sound a little like Cooey and the farmer? Maybe.
I have his grandson. So when Cooey said like he was holding up the rod and he said the sky was falling and he tried to trick Tio, and then the mouse deer tried to trick the farmer.
Okay, let's hold on to that.
And he did.
Kara?
So it could be
Do you think they're related or something?
Like it could be his dad, or it could be a dad of whatever.
It sounds similar
It's gonna be his dad.
because they're maybe different species and you probably can't do that, Jaden.
Because in anything can happen. In Kiwi the story, he tricked Tio Antonio to think that the sky is falling when he let go of the rock.
All right. Oh yeah.
And he the deer actually tricked the farmer thinking that the deer is dead.
Okay, let's keep reading to figure out what's happening. A few days passed, but Mouse Deer kept thinking about those vegetables. When he went back to the garden, he saw something new. It looked like a man, but its head was a coconut and its body was rubber. Scarecrow, said Mouse Deer. Farmer can't scare me with that. Mouse Deer kicked the scarecrow, but his foot stuck to its body. The scarecrow is covered with sticky sap from a rubber tree. Sound familiar?
Rubber tree.
There's
There's
scarecrow.
the rubber tree.
Yeah.
From Cooey when the farmer had made a little doll,
Sounds similar to me.
and then he kept sticking to it every time he touched it.
Let me go, Mouse Deer cried. Flip the page.
That's exactly what.
That's exactly what Tio or Kui said. Then Farmer appeared. Welcome back, he said. Then he pulled Mouse Deer off the scarecrow and locked him in a chicken coop. You'll stay here tonight, said Farmer, and tomorrow you'll be our dinner. That's what the other farmer said. That night, Mouse Deer couldn't sleep. When the sun rose, he just lay there sadly. Then he heard a voice. So Farmer finally caught you, said Farmer's dog. Mouse Deer thought fast. Well, what do you mean, dog? Farmer didn't catch me. Then why are you in the coop? Asked Dog. Because there aren't enough beds in the house. You see, tomorrow Farmer is holding a feast, and I'm the guest of honor. That's not fair, said Dog. I've been his loyal friend for years, so I should be the guest of honor. You're right. Why don't you take my place? So Dog lifted the latch and opened the door. Mouse Deer ran towards the forest, laughing. Farmer will have to find a different dinner now because he can't catch me. That was it.
That's exactly
It's a
what
short-
we did, but instead for the tree.
Okay, Chloe, think about that similarity.
Wait, they both tricked.
Yeah.
So we have that first one. They both try to trick others.
They both were.
They're both trickster tales, which is awesome. But thinking about, let's do.
Their personalities are rude.
I was kind of. What made you think that? I was thinking the same thing.
Because it's not nice to trick people.
And like, what
I used to trick
specifically? But wait, Emmy's still talking. Emmy, what specifically did this Mouse Deer do that was pretty rude? Every time that he won or tricked someone, what did he do?
He said, I won, you did.
Well, he might not have said that, but he did laugh. So,
He laughed at them like they were both
well,
laughed.
like they were silly, like they were
They both
stupid.
laughed?
He kind of made. So, let's
No,
say.
they actually laughed.
Well, we were thinking about their character, right? So we were thinking about how they're both rude.
I want to know more.
What do you want to know more about? They are rude and laugh at
I want to know about the. I want to.
predators.
Story.
I know, me too, right? I think there's longer versions. Predators.
I kind of
Thinking
feel
back
like
to our
they
words.
should be rude and selfish.
What makes you
Because
say that?
Louis didn't laugh. He just ran off.
So maybe selfish. They're just thinking about themselves. I guess that's what selfish means. Because you're saying mouse, deer, laughed at the dog, but Cooey just ran away from his problems.
He sprinted away in fear.
It probably was fear, but the story made it seem like it wasn't very scary.
Because they didn't want us to be scared for our lives.
Yeah, it's a kid's story, so they probably wanted you to feel.
British little gummy bear.
Yes. Thinking about this, you're writing this down if you don't have it all, or if you don't have it. But if you're done, maybe start thinking about the locations that these stories took place.
Well, they both took place in farms.
Okay. They both took place on farms. What about countries, though?
I'm guessing they're in the same country. Oh no,
We don't need to guess. We can look.
Well, actually, they're in different countries. One is in.
Well, let's start with the mouse deer on page 99.
Okay, one is in South Asia. The other one.
Charlie's got this one. So this one was South Asia.
South America.
From
Andes Mountains.
Wait, Charlie's on the Peru. So Andes Mountains, comma, I'm just gonna say Peru. Having a hard time. All right. They
both got stuck in something.
What do you mean?
Like, in mouse deer, he got stuck in the sap, and he both got stuck on sap. Both got stuck on sap.
Okay, I can fit scarecrow. If you can fit scarecrow, right? Scarecrow. I can only fit the word sap in my little column because it's too little.
Stuck in sap. I could only fit that too.
But let's think about the two different ways that they were trapped, right? They were trapped differently.
They were trapped in scarecrows.
Well,
Both trapped in scarecrows.
they were trapped by the scarecrows, but yes, what about how they were trapped?
Wait, is that an R in this?
They got stuck.
MTS, like that's an abbreviation for that.
No, I meant like before that.
Andes, so A-N, sorry, this one's an N-D-E-S.
Yeah, well, so one was a little scarecrow, the other one was a big scarecrow.
Well, that's true, but let's think about the last pages though, like where was
They both
he
wanted them for
trapped?
dinner. They both wanted them for dinner.
Ooh, that is good. Both were going to be eaten.
For dinner.
We're going to be dinner.
Both were.
I'll just write this down here. Both were going to be dinner. That's a very good connection. And then they tricked him different ways.
And then they both tricked them in a different way. Yeah.
Well, so now let's do the differences, right? If they're
I got
both
this.
different.
So one, Kai tricked the wolf to get into the from marrying her daughter.
Well, and how
To marrying daughter.
how did he specifically trade?
Oh, he said that they I'm talking.
Yes, you are.
And so Kuwait had said that he was going to marry the farmer's daughter, and then that they would have chickens every year. So, and he just wanted to get
And so he tricked Tio into marrying
no into
the farmer's daughter. Well, and you're right. Were you going to say he was like thinking that he was caught?
really do that.
Like, don't drop the.
Oh, what were you going to say for marrying?
You have to drop the Y and just do it.
Okay, super close. The only time you don't do that one is when it has an I next to it, because then it'd be two I's and it just look weird. So in this case, we're keeping the Y, but that was a great
And it'll
connection.
just be married.
Marrying or something, yeah. And in this one, the mouse deer tricked the dog by saying he was going to be what?
Dinner.
Well, the guest, right? Tricked the dog
By
saying
that he was going to be the special dog.
he would be.
Wait, after per set dog. Reset by adding the two little commas, parentheses.
Yeah.
But he said dog by saying.
So you mean quotation marks? Add quotation marks. great connection to grammar. So you put a comma and then parentheses or quotation marks over. You want it to be the guest of honor. So you guys are doing some great thinking. Pretend it's not there.
I ran out of space.
That's okay. That's perfect. I think we got some great
I ran
thinking
out
in
of
here.
space.
Yeah.
I couldn't say. How is your handwriting so small?
Okay, we nailed it on comparing similarities and differences. But let's look back into the theme. How are the themes of these two stories pretty similar?
Well, because
Well, like, let's pause and think for a second. Wait, let's let people who need a little bit more time to think, let's let them think. So how are the themes of these two stories pretty similar?
I just
I think I'm gonna let Charlie, did you have some idea about let's think about small animals.
They're both pretty small.
So the small animals
outwitted the big animals.
outwitted the big animals. So that's maybe the message. So small animals outwitted the big animals. So what do we, remember what we said earlier about brain over brawn? Brawn means muscle or strength.
Tara's about to blow.
So on the bottom, why don't we say the theme? Hey kiddos, real fast before Tara. The theme, looking into this theme right here. They both show that brain, like outwitting people, could keep you alive, I guess. Brain over brawn.
I said brain versus brawn.
Well, it's more of just like your intelligence is more important than just being really powerful. Put it in the LA section of your binder. Okay. Kiddos. And then Tara, last one. This was great. We're going to go back to our notes.
Tara's about to she's a
Yeah.
oh god.
Are you waiting for them?
Oh no. I forgot. There was both two small animals, well, smallish, and then they were both like kind of like predators.
I was going to say that maybe predators and prey. Awesome. So kiddos, we nailed it.